This February, we're gonna be making our own stationery. We're gonna dive into the art of letter making. I'm Rayna, and this is my studio. Since we're writing letters this month, let's get started with checking out my stamp collection. Stamp collecting is one of my favorite hobbies and something that I do to calm my mind. This collection celebrates the Lunar New Year and the 12-year cycle that has different animals per year, and each stamp has a different design corresponding to a symbol that Asians celebrate. And I just love this collection because together it's just such a beautiful collection of beautiful artwork that represents our culture. I also really love other types of stamps too. This one here, Calvin Hobbes, is one of my favorite comics to read. Eric Carle, The Hungry Caterpillar, and also the stamps to remind me of my travels. These I got from Japan and I just think they're really adorable. Stamp collecting is really fun for me, but another thing that's even more fun is using these stamps to write to loved ones. I invite you to join me in writing letters this month to all our loved ones, and I think this time especially is a great time for us to connect. When I think of February, I think of the month of love, Valentine's Day. I think of writing letters. So the first flower that comes to mind is the rose, which is very common. Everyone's familiar with what it means. However, when people think of the rose in terms of drawing, it can be very difficult. I want to show you a super simple way to draw roses. We're going to start with very simple shapes. We're going to start with a circle. Everyone can draw a circle, doesn't have to be perfect. Here, I sometimes, practice drawing my circles. And all we're going to do is just fill it in with lines. We're going to draw this line here, and we're kind of just going to go around the circle. I'm trying to make it super simple for anybody to follow. And there you have a rose pattern that has a graphical element to it. Same thing, you're going to keep on drawing lines. I've really reduced down the number of strokes so that it's accessible for everyone. Sometimes I like to fill in the middle too, since the middle part of the rose tends to be darker since there's more petals inside. Same thing here. All right, and then we're just gonna draw some stems to go along with it. And here I also like to play around with the leaves. The rose does not stand alone by itself. They have leaves to make it really stand out. And I like to play with the patterns on the leaves too. So sometimes I really don't like drawing things as is. And so this is my interpretation of a leaf to match the graphical component of our circular rose. So I like to add simple lines to create a leaf pattern. Do the same thing on this side. And you can really play around with this too and make your own lines. Let's put a leaf by the rose here. Again, simple lines. Now I'm going to just outline it with a marker to bold it out. We're creating roses with simple shapes, only circles and lines. Same thing with the leaf here, and we can color that in for an added design effect. I feel pretty confident about this pattern, so I'm actually going to move on to a bigger piece of paper, and I'm going to change up the colors, but this is going to be our basic rose pattern. Now I'm going to take out paper that I'm going to draw the roses on. I'm actually going to change up the colors. For the roses, I'm going to use pink. I really love these Posca markers. They are so fun and easy to use, and they're really clean too. You don't have to have a big mess to work with paint. Also, I'm going to use this green color for the stems. It's also another pink pen. And then I'm going to use a silver color for the vase. I feel that the roses should sit in a pretty vase. All right. I'm going to reference my sketch here. We're using circles and lines to create the flowers, and I'm essentially going to copy what I did in my sketchbook. I'm drawing circles around the paper, so these are where the flowers will be placed. And they can be anywhere where you choose. I think I will do 5 roses for this one. And this is the fun part where you start adding lines. And how I draw the lines is, so I draw the first line, and then for the second line, I take a section or a point on the first line and I connect it there. I do the same thing. I find a point from that line that I just drew and I draw another line that comes from it. I'm always using the last line that I drew to guide my next line. So I'm using this line. I'm going to use this line next to guide me, this line to guide me, and so forth. And for fun, I also like to color in the inside of the rose. All right, so now we have our flowers. We now need the stems. The stems are another favorite part of mine to draw because you can really have fun with the leaves. So we're just gonna draw some straight lines to connect it. And the reason why I'm drawing it to meet around this area here is because this is where I'm going to collect them in a vase. And I'll show you how to draw a vase after we finish the stem and the leaves. And I do like to just make the stems a little thicker, so I add another line to give the stems some weight. Another fun part is the leaves. For the leaf, I like to draw a semi-elliptical, and I like to close it off on the other side. And instead of drawing a traditional looking leaf, I like to add fun patterns to it to match up with the graphical design of the rose pattern. I'm gonna do simple lines. And then we can draw other leaves on the other side. Again, same pattern. I'm gonna continue drawing the leaves later, but I want to start putting them in a vase right now. I'm using the silver color because I think the silver looks really nice with the pink and green, but you can use any color you wish. And I'm going to draw a simple vase. And it's okay if the lines here aren't straight, because I'm actually going to cover them up with the silver paint marker. And you can draw your vase in any shape. I like to have the top portion of the vase kind of curve in. So I'm gonna have it curve in, and I like to have it bubble out. I think this is a really cool pattern or cool vase to put the flowers in. And then I'm just going to color it in. And what I love about paint markers is that they go over the other colors, so you don't have to do any erasing. I'm going to finish this up, but let's head on over to the Gardner Museum to check out all the letters Isabella Gardner herself has collected. On a recent visit to the Gardner, I noticed Isabella's collection of letters and notes that she collected and displayed in cases throughout the galleries. Even though so much of her communication is digital these days, I'm reminded that writing an actual letter can be more meaningful to someone. A person can cherish a letter forever. Welcome back. I am just finishing up our vase of roses, adding some embellishments to finish it off. I'm really liking how our rose bouquet looks. Now that we finished up our bouquet of roses, I would love to share this with my loved ones. And I think a great idea to do this is to create our own stationery that you can do right at home with the exact patterns that we made. I changed the colors up to red roses and with darker green leaves with a gold vase. But I'm gonna start writing this card. And I also decorated the envelope in the same color scheme that I did here. And I also added a little rose in the back too, so it feels more personal. I invite you to write a letter with me to your loved ones. I also love choosing a stamp to affix onto the envelope, and I really think these heart stamps go perfectly with the rose. And we're ready to send out some letters. Thank you so much for joining me and learning how to draw roses and creating your own stationery. I love to stay connected. Please visit me at raynalo.com or on Instagram at rayna.lo. Also, I'd love to see your work, and please tag us at the Gardner Museum. We'll see you next month.